The secret to making her regret losing you. Have you ever stopped to consider that the real way to make her regret losing you has nothing to do with chasing, begging, or constantly proving your worth? What if the answer was so simple, yet so powerful, that it completely changes how you approach relationships? Most people get this completely wrong. They think that if they just try harder, if they just show her how much they care, she'll wake up and realize what she lost. But the truth? The more you chase, the more she pulls away. The more you plead, the less attractive you become. Why? Because people rarely value what comes too easily. Think about it. When was the last time you truly appreciated something that was handed to you without any effort? It's human nature to desire what feels just out of reach. The moment she knows you're willing to do anything to get her back, she holds all the power. But what if I told you that power is an illusion? The key to reversing the dynamic. If you truly want to shift the way she sees you, you need to stop giving her what she expects. She expects you to react emotionally. She expects you to reach out. She expects you to keep seeking her validation. And that's exactly why you must do the opposite. The moment you detach from needing her approval, you regain control, not just over the situation, but over yourself. Emotional independence is your greatest weapon. When you stop seeking her attention, you instantly become more valuable in her eyes. Suddenly, she starts wondering why you're not chasing her. She begins questioning if she made the right choice. And that small doubt? That's the first step toward regret. The power of silence and absence. If you take away one thing from this, let it be this: silence is power. Distance is influence. When you remove your attention, your validation, and your emotional energy, something interesting happens. She starts to feel the emptiness of your absence. At first, she may act like she doesn't care. She may even try to make it seem like she's happier without you. But deep down, when you're no longer there to feed her ego, she will feel the shift, and that's when the regret sets in. But here's the most important part. This isn't about manipulating her. It's about regaining your self-respect. It's about realizing that your worth isn't defined by whether she chooses you or not. The moment you embrace that mindset, you naturally become more attractive, not just to her, but to anyone you encounter. Take control of your emotions. Now, if you're serious about reclaiming your power, I want you to do two things right now. First, share and subscribe to this channel so you never miss insights like this. Second, drop a comment below saying, "I control my emotions." This simple statement will serve as a daily reminder that you hold the power, not her, not the situation, but you. Now, let's dive deeper into exactly how you can put this into action, step by step. How your silence triggers regret. The human mind is wired to crave what it can't have. It's a simple yet powerful truth. When something is always there, always available, we take it for granted. But the moment it's gone, truly gone, that's when its absence becomes impossible to ignore. And this is why your silence is your greatest weapon. When you stop reaching out, stop reacting, and stop giving her even the smallest bit of attention, you create scarcity. And scarcity builds value. The more available you are, the less desirable you become. But when you remove yourself, when you vanish from her world completely, the dynamic shifts. Why most men get this wrong? A lot of men fail at this because they try to fake indifference. They post cryptic Instagram stories, hoping she'll check them. They make subtle moves to spark jealousy. They disappear for a few days, but secretly hope she'll notice. All of that is weakness. She sees right through it. She knows when you're still seeking her validation, even if you're pretending not to. And the moment she senses that you still care what she thinks, you lose all the power. This is why you don't go silent to get her attention. You go silent because she no longer deserves access to you. You step back not to play games, but because you refuse to be a pawn in hers. The shift that changes everything. Once you stop chasing, something incredible happens. You actually start moving on. You stop waiting. You stop wondering if she's thinking about you. And the more you detach, the stronger you become. At first, she won't react. She'll assume you're just taking a break, testing her. She'll think you'll cave in eventually, that you'll come crawling back, just like every other guy before you. But then, time keeps passing. Days turn into weeks, and you still haven't reached out. You still haven't checked in, and that's when her confidence starts to crack. The thoughts that haunt her at first, she brushes it off. He'll come back. He always does. But then she starts questioning everything. Was I wrong about him? Did he ever even love me? Has he already moved on? Why isn't he chasing me? And then comes the thought she wasn't prepared for. Did I lose him forever? The fear that fuels her regret. Her biggest fear isn't being single. Her biggest fear is realizing she made the wrong choice. She thought she could replace you easily. She thought you'd always be an option. But now, she's not so sure anymore. Because while she was expecting you to fall apart, you disappeared. While she was waiting for you to come running back, you gave her nothing. And in that empty space, her regret grows. She might try to suppress it. She might surround herself with attention from other men. But no matter who she entertains, none of them will hold the same weight as the man she lost. Because when you remove yourself completely, she doesn't just lose you, she loses the version of herself that felt special, desired, and irreplaceable in your world. And that realization, it will haunt her. The ultimate power move. Here's the final truth. The more you ignore her, the more she feels it. The less you react, the more she notices. The moment you stop needing her, she starts needing you. But by the time she realizes it, you'll be long gone, living a life she no longer has access to. Now take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. And drop a comment below saying, I choose myself. Because in the end, the real power isn't in making her regret losing you, it's in realizing you never needed her to begin with. Let's break this down step by step so you can take control of your life starting today. The power of walking away. Most men make the same mistake after a breakup. They chase, they beg, and they hold on, believing that if they just say the right words or prove their worth, she'll come back. But what if I told you that's exactly what she expects? She assumes you'll panic. She assumes you'll text late at night searching for answers. She assumes you'll sit in your pain, analyzing every detail, wondering what went wrong. She knows the pattern. Man falls in love, woman pulls away, man reacts, woman moves on. And because she expects it, she doesn't feel a sense of loss. She doesn't regret leaving. Instead, she moves forward without hesitation because you're playing the exact role she anticipated. But what happens when you break the pattern? Shattering expectations. The moment you refuse to chase, the moment you stop trying to convince her of your value, everything changes. She expects you to reach out, so don't. She expects you to show her you're struggling, so rise above it. She expects you to wait for her decision, so make your own. Because the second you stop reacting, she feels something she wasn't prepared for. Uncertainty. And uncertainty is a powerful emotion. A woman's greatest fear isn't being single, it's realizing she miscalculated a man's value. When you remove yourself completely, you force her to rethink everything. She starts questioning her choices. She wonders if she underestimated you. And that doubt, that's when regret begins to set in. The man she can't replace. The men who are forgotten are the ones who beg for closure, seek validation, and linger in the background hoping for a second chance. The men women regret losing, they walk away without hesitation, not out of spite, not as a manipulation tactic, but because they understand their worth. That's the difference. You don't go silent to make her miss you, you go silent because she no longer has access to you. That means no messages, no last words, no attempts to stay connected, because a man who values himself doesn't chase someone who chose to leave. A new beginning. At first, she might act indifferent. She'll post, she'll go out, she'll pretend life is unchanged, but over time she'll feel the weight of your absence. She expected you to be broken. Instead, you moved forward. She expected you to chase. Instead, you disappeared. And by the time she realizes what she lost, you'll be focused on something far more important, your own growth, success, and happiness. Because in the end, the goal was never to make her regret losing you. The goal was to become the kind of man who never looks back. Why she will test you and how to pass. Walking away is not enough. Even after you've distanced yourself, even after you've gone silent, she will test you. She will find subtle ways to see if she still has power over you, if she can still control your emotions. And if you fail, if you take the bait, if you react the way she expects, you lose all the progress you made. Most men don't realize this is happening. They think that when an ex reaches out, it means she's changed her mind. They assume a small message, a like on an old post, or a sudden accidental encounter is a sign of renewed interest. But it's not. It's a test. She wants to know if you're truly different or if you're just pretending. She wants to see if you've actually moved on or if you're still lingering in the past, waiting for her to come back. If you fail, if you react emotionally, she immediately knows she still has control. The mistake most men make. She might send a random "oops, wrong person" text. She might like an old photo of yours. She might casually check in with a "hope you're doing well" message. She might even ask outright, "Do you still think about me?" Most men take the bait. They see these small gestures as signs that she still cares. They respond, thinking they're rekindling something. They lower their guard, hoping for a second chance, and that's when she pulls away again, because she wasn't reaching out to reconnect. She was checking her power. She wanted to see if she could still get a reaction, if she could still keep you on standby. The moment she gets that confirmation, she loses interest all over again. How you pass the test. You have to understand these tests never stop. Women don't do this out of cruelty, it's instinctual. They need to know that the man they're dealing with is emotionally strong, that he's not easily swayed, that he won't crumble at the slightest bit of attention. So what do? Nothing. She likes your photo? Ignore it. She sends a meaningless message? Leave it unread. She accidentally runs into you? Keep walking. Because when she realizes she can't get a reaction, that's when the real doubt sets in. That's when she starts to wonder, did I really lose him for good? And that's the moment regret begins. The power of walking away for good. A woman only truly regrets losing a man when she feels his absence so deeply that it forces her to question her own choices. But you will never create that feeling in her if you keep playing her game. Women only chase what they can't fully have. They only respect what they can't control. And they only regret the man who disappears completely, without hesitation, without a trace, without looking back. So when she tests you, when she tries to pull you back in, when she throws out breadcrumbs to see if you'll react, do nothing, not as a manipulation tactic, not to make her miss you, but because you've already moved on. And that's the difference between the men she forgets and the men she regrets. Indifference. The ultimate power move. In life, the people who hold the most power are the ones who don't need validation from anyone, especially from those who walked away. When it comes to relationships, most men make the mistake of holding on too tightly, analyzing every little action and waiting for the moment their ex might come back. But the truth is, the moment you become indifferent is the moment you reclaim control. A woman knows when she still has power over you. She can sense it in your reactions, in the way you still check her social media, in the way you overanalyze her actions. As long as you're emotionally invested, she remains in control. But the second you stop caring, genuinely stop caring, everything changes. Why indifference works. Women are drawn to uncertainty. They crave challenge, excitement, and the feeling of not knowing what comes next. But when she knows she can have you whenever she wants, you lose that appeal. She doesn't have to commit. She doesn't have to chase. She keeps you as a backup option, a safety net, just in case she ever changes her mind. That's why so many men end up stuck in an emotional limbo, hoping, waiting, and wasting time on a woman who has already moved on. But the moment you shift your mindset, the second you stop giving her the attention she expects, her perception of you changes. Suddenly you're no longer predictable. Suddenly you're no longer an option she can take for granted. Suddenly she starts to question if she misjudged your value, and that's when the doubt begins to creep in. How to show true indifference. Most men fail at this because they try to fake indifference. They post pictures designed to make her jealous. They act distant but secretly hope she notices. They avoid texting her, but deep down, they're waiting for her to reach out. Women see right through this. They can feel when a man is still emotionally attached, even if he's trying to act tough. Real indifference is effortless. You don't check her social media because you genuinely don't care. You don't wait for her to text because her attention no longer matters. You don't analyze her behavior because your focus is on yourself, not her. And when she realizes that you've truly moved on, that she no longer has access to your emotions, that's when regret starts to set in. She will test you. She will send meaningless text just to see if you'll bite. She might react to your stories or suddenly check in with a casual, "Hope you're doing well." The weak man will fall for it. The strong man will ignore it completely, not to manipulate her, but because he has already moved on. Why? She will regret losing you. She won't regret the man who begged. She won't regret the man who tried to prove his worth. She won't regret the man who waited for her to change her mind. She will regret the man who vanished without hesitation. The man who walked away without looking back. The man who didn't try to convince her to stay. The man who realized she wasn't worth the fight. And by the time she understands what she lost, you won't even care. Because instead of waiting for her, you'll be out building the best version of yourself. You'll be focused on your goals, improving your body, making more money, and living the life you were always meant to live. And she'll be sitting there, wondering how she let you slip through her fingers. Indifference isn't just a strategy, it's a way of life. The second you stop caring what she thinks, what she feels, or what she does, you win. And when you win, you become a man she can never control again. So don't give her the reaction she expects. Don't give her the attention she craves. Don't give her the satisfaction of knowing she still occupies space in your mind. Give her nothing, because in your nothingness, she will feel everything. Emotional unavailability, the key to power. Most men make the mistake of letting a woman's absence dictate their emotions. They replay old conversations, overanalyze every detail, and wonder if they could have done something different. But that mindset keeps you stuck, keeps you weak, keeps you in a cycle where your emotions are controlled by someone who has already moved on. From this moment forward, that ends. You will not break, you will not fold, you will not let her absence define you. You must master the art of emotional unavailability, not as a tactic, not as a way to manipulate, but as a necessary skill for self-preservation. Because the truth is, when a woman realizes she no longer holds power over you, that is when everything shifts. What emotional unavailability really means. Being emotionally unavailable isn't about pretending you don't care while secretly hoping she notices. It's not about playing games or using silence as a strategy. It's about rewiring your mind so that her presence or absence has no effect on you. The reason most men struggle is simple. They make women their purpose. They wake up thinking about her. They check their phone for a message that will never come. They make decisions based on whether she might approve. But a man who is truly emotionally unavailable operates on his own time, his own goals, his own reality. His mind is occupied with growth, ambition, and dominance over his own life. He doesn't sit around waiting for a woman to dictate his emotional state. He dictates it himself. And when a woman senses that shift, when she realizes she is no longer the center of your world, she starts to feel the void. She expected you to wait. She expected you to hesitate. She expected you to crave her attention, but instead you moved forward without a second thought. How to maintain emotional unavailability. 1. Stop seeking validation. If you're still waiting for her approval, still hoping she regrets leaving, still checking her social media, you've already lost. The moment you detach from the outcome, you regain control. 2. Cut off all emotional ties. No more lingering on memories, no more one last conversation, no more excuses to stay connected. When she reaches out, when she sends breadcrumbs, when she tries to stir emotions inside you, ignore it. Not to win, but because she is no longer relevant. 3. Make her a distant memory. A man who is truly untouchable doesn't dwell on the past. He is focused on his purpose, his goals, his own evolution. He builds a life so powerful, so magnetic, so impenetrable, that even if she begged to come back, he wouldn't even blink. The ultimate shift in power: women only respect men who remain a mystery. The moment she figures you out, the moment she sees that she still has access to your emotions, you become predictable, boring, replaceable. She needs to feel uncertainty. She needs to wonder why you don't care. She needs to question whether she miscalculated your value. Most men fail at this because they never truly move on. They fake indifference while secretly waiting for her return. They act detached but still stalk her online. They pretend they've moved on but still react to her breadcrumbs. You don't act emotionally unavailable, you become it. You stop placing value on her attention, her words, her presence. You wake up every day with a purpose that has nothing to do with her. You build a life so strong, so fulfilling, so complete, that she becomes an afterthought. And when she finally realizes that you're truly gone, when she feels the full weight of your absence, when she understands that she had access to a man she can never have again, that's when regret sets in. But by then you won't even care, because you'll be too busy building the life you were always meant to live. The shift. Now she's chasing you. There was a time when she was sure of herself. She believed she had everything under control, that you were just another man, easy to replace, easy to forget. But something has changed. You stopped chasing. You stopped reacting. You stopped playing her games, and now doubt is creeping in. She starts checking your social media more often, trying to piece together what you've been up to. She asks mutual friends about you, curious to know if you've truly moved on. She suddenly appears in places where she knows you'll be, not to rekindle things immediately, but to figure something out. She needs to know if you still care. She needs to know if you're still an option, because if you're not, that changes everything. The mistake most men make. This is the moment where most men fail. The second they see her showing interest again, they rush back. They start pursuing her, giving her all the validation she had been missing. And the moment they do, she wins. She gets the confirmation she needed. You weren't really over her. You were just pretending. But the man who has truly leveled up, the man who understands his worth, doesn't fall into that trap. He doesn't change course. He doesn't shift his focus back to her. He doesn't let her sudden interest shake his resolve, because he has already won. Why she starts to chase. When you stop chasing, stop reacting, and fully embrace your own value, she has no choice but to come to you. She starts questioning everything. Did I misjudge him? Why isn't he chasing me like I expected? Did I actually lose something valuable? And for the first time, you are no longer available to her. No amount of distractions, no amount of new men, no amount of fake confidence can change the fact that she feels your absence. Now you have a choice. By the time she comes back, by the time she starts chasing, by the time she finally realizes what she lost, you won't even want her anymore because you'll be a different man. You will have leveled up beyond what she even recognizes. You will have built a life so powerful, so fulfilling, so abundant that her return will feel like a step backward. That is true power. That is true self-respect. The ultimate power would be, if you really want her to regret losing you, you have to stop caring whether she regrets it or not. You have to let her go completely. You have to show her that your emotions are yours to control. You have to prove that your happiness, success, and self-worth have nothing to do with her. Silence is power. Absence is power. Indifference is power. When you stop chasing, stop validating, stop needing her, you take back control of your life, your emotions, and your destiny. And by the time she realizes what she lost, you'll already be gone.